You can never have enough running backs on your fantasy football team. So here's Michael Fabiano to help us discover those later round picks that could be sleepers or breakouts and help you win your fantasy football league. Fabs, let's count them down, starting with number 5.
And we'll start off with Damian Pierce there in Houston. Landed in a great spot, right? Marlon Mack is there, Rex Burkhead is there. Neither one of those guys is a true number 1. Pierce is a kid out of Florida who certainly showed flashes at the collegiate level, and I would not be surprised if he's the starter for the Texans sooner rather than later, and you can get him somewhere in the later rounds.
Absolutely love that pick. I do think Lovie Smith will be trying to run the ball more this year in Texas. Moving on up, you got a guy in a committee, but hey, his coach could use him all kinds of different ways.
Right, and that's Rondastevenson in New England. And Ramondre reminds me a little bit of LeGarrette Blount, and LeGarrette Blount had some success there in New England for a short period of time. And I get it, you know, you've got Damian Harris there, and typically you deal with Bill Belichick's Bellatrix with the backfield. But Peter King reported earlier in camp that Stevenson could be the favorite to start. I don't know how true that is, but I do know this. He's going to see a lot more work than he did last year. This could be a committee, and Stevenson could end up being a guy that you can utilize as a flex starter.
At number 3, you have the top-rated rookie running back coming into this year.
Yeah, and that's Breece Hall. Now, he's not going to be Najee Harris, okay? Let's not get things twisted here, but he will be the top back for the Jets. Their offensive line did take a hit recently, but it still will be pretty good. And while he'll lose some of those passing situations to Michael Carter, I still think Breece Hall will be the top back for the men in green. I'd draft him as an RB2.
There are 170 vacated targets in Green Bay after losing Devontae Adams and Marquez Valdes-Scantling. I'm guessing that some of those red zone targets are why you've got this guy at number 2.
A.J. Dillon is going to see a big role in the offense this season. I don't think there's any question about it. Last year, he actually led the Packers in terms of carries and rushing yards, even with Aaron Jones in the mix. And I think Jones is going to see more of a utilization as a pass catcher this year. So we could see a thunder and lightning sort of scenario in Green Bay. Without Adams, I think they run the ball more. A.J. Dillon and his massive quads, well, draft him as a flex this season, and who knows, maybe you can get some RB2 value there. He's coming off the board in the 6th or 7th round in most leagues.
I really, really like it. I think he gets a lot of goal line carries, and they do use Jones in the passing game. I like both backs in Green Bay. And finally, for your number 1 spot, a guy we didn't even get to see last year, but now maybe we're going to get the chance.
And that's Travis Etienne. He's more of a breakout than a sleeper for me. Although with James Robinson back from the Achilles and having no limitations in training camp, that maybe throws a little bit of cold water on Etienne, but he's been the best player at camp. If you read the reports, he's very explosive. He's a dual threat. He can run, he can catch the ball out of the backfield, and he's got a great rapport with Trevor Lawrence from their time together at Clemson. So Travis Etienne, who's coming off the board in the 3rd or 4th round in some leagues, certainly has RB2 upside, and who knows, maybe he ends up being the breakout running back of 2022.
Plenty of great picks there. If you want to win your league, be sure you check out our fantasy football draft kit at si.com/fantasy. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button because we're going to be bringing you more great fantasy football content throughout the season.